What's up?
Yes, sir.
Are we live? Hello, hello. Mic check, mic check. Wait, she didn't even bring her iPad. Can you tell her to bring her iPad? So we're live. We're live. We're good. Mic check. Everything's good. Okay. All right. Okay. What's up, y'all? So today we were kind of indecisive. We didn't know what to choose. So we figured we'll probably just leave it up to y'all to choose for me which out of these 4 cases that I'm gonna build in today. These cases are kind of similar to each other, especially these two, but all of them essentially they're like small form factor, right? So you could jam pack a lot into these cases, more, but not as much as like the usual, like a regular mid tower case or some of the bigger ones that we've been building on stream. But you can still fit a lot in here in such a small form factor. The only thing is that it doesn't really have glass. You can't really see through it. These ones could be, these taller ones here could be a little bit more flashier because you could kind of see through the mesh. These two here, like definitely you're not seeing through here. So you wouldn't be doing much RGB. Even in these ones, it's not really, viable to do RGB in them. I mean, you could see through them more. I guess it wouldn't hurt to do some RGB in there anyways. But nonetheless, we wanted to do one of these small form factor builds here. So we're gonna let you guys choose. You can say can you do a poll in the chat, or
Yeah.
you can do a poll in the chat? So we'll just do a poll in the chat. I guess you guys will answer that poll however it is, or you can just say which one, or how are we gonna do that?
What color?
So we'll give out the names here. This is the Corsair 2000D.
2000D.
The Corsair 2000D.
Wait.
This is the height. This is the height. Revolt. The height Revolt 3. This is the Fractal Terra, and this is the Fractal. What is this one? The Fractal. I forget the name of this one. Sebastian knows the name of this one. I forget the name of this one. But these are 2 Fractal cases. We got height and Corsair. So, what is this? Okay. Yeah, I totally forgot the name of this one. Wow.
And then this one, what is
We'll get the name of it right now. This is the height Revolt 3.
2000D height Revolt 3 Fractal Terra, the white case.
Yeah, and the white one's also fractal. So we got 2 fractals, height and Corsair. These kind of look like an Xbox Series X, like the new one. This one has a handle on it, pretty cool. This one here is really small form factor, has the wood, very aesthetic on your desktop. It'll look really nice, right? And this is the smallest one out of the bunch, so the least amount of components will go into this one. I think this one you can still fit like a good amount of fans. This one as well. This one has some pre-installed fans, and then it uses like these really tiny fans here that I don't have, but I could probably steal off a Fractal node that we have over here. So I could probably get some fans, some of those weird fans there. This one's cool too because it could stand up. So I already pre-installed these feet on it when I was taking a look at it when I first opened this up when we first got it. So I already like kind of did some stuff to it. But nonetheless, All of these are small form factor, so you're not going to fit as much as you would in a regular case. Just this one's probably going to be the least amount of stuff.
Looks like that green one's winning.
The green one's winning. Everybody wants the Fractal Terra, huh? Fractal Terra is nice. It's a good case. Has like some hinge panels that like flop up. I think all of these will have a small ITX power supply, which we do have. ITX motherboard, and 4070 Super is what we're gonna put into these. So we're gonna do AMD 5000 series X550 from Gigabyte, an Aorus Gigabyte motherboard with a Corsair 850 watt ITX power supply. It's an ATX 3.0, so that's cool. It'll work well with our 4070 Super and just a Wraith cooler. I know you could fit like some different type of coolers on here. You could probably even do some AIOs, but we're gonna do just a Wraith cooler on these. Yeah.
The poll's about to end.
All right. Let's see who the winner is. I won't say my favorite. I don't want to skew the numbers here.
Looks like the Fractal one, the Terra one, the green one.
Nice. Everybody got their votes in?
Yeah. So,
Good. Was there a time limit on it or something?
yeah, 3 minutes.
3 minutes, but like a lot of people got to vote, or everybody?
Just like a couple of people voted.
Okay. Okay. Well, hey, look, everybody, time's up. We will go with the people's choice here. And we're going to go with the Fractal Terra as the winner. All right. Let me move these out of the way here. So this was the Corsair 2000D, really good case, actually. You could fit a pretty big power supply in here, and I think this is the one that you could fit the most fans in. So if you're going for a small form factor build that you still want to put a lot into and doesn't take that much space, I mean, look, compared to like the smallest one we have here, the Terra, which is the winner, it's still, I mean, like if you put them side to side, like it's obviously it's bigger. It's probably like, I mean, maybe 30% bigger than this one, the Fractal Terra. So it's still not going to take that much space. But if you really wanted something that you could fit a lot into with such a small space, this is a really good case. 2000D from Corsair. Also, very similar to that 2000D is the Hype 3, Hype Revolt 3. This one's cool because it has a little handle here, right? So you can just move it around easily, or you could even use it as like a to-go type of PC, you know, if you were like going to a friend's house or something like that, do a LAN party. I don't know how many people do LAN parties nowadays, but this one also, you can fit a lot of fans into. I just don't think not as much as that 2000D. The 2000D you could fit more fans than this one. I think even this Fractal case here can fit more fans than this one here. But the fans are going to be smaller, so I mean the surface area probably going to be about the same. If you do the math on the surface area coverage of the fans, it'll probably be about the same between both cases. This one obviously stands up. This one could stand up, right? So this one, you could have it like that. You could change these feet to be on the bottom here or on the top part here. So you could make this one stand as well. But again, height for Volt 3, really good case, right? You get two USB 3.0 and then the USB-C there, 3.1 or whatever, headphone jack. Really good case. Again, uses the ITX power supply. And this one's really cool because it has like the power button here. So I think you guys can see that. The power supply power button on off switch is on the outside here. So a lot of with these form factor, small form factor cases, you once you have the power supply inside, you have to switch it on. And every time you wanted to switch it on and off to do some troubleshooting or something like that, you would have to like take the panel off and switch it on and off if you know you wanted to clear CMOS or something like that. With that Revolt case, they added a switch on the outside, so you don't have to always go in there to access the power supply, which I thought was really cool. I'll show you what I mean when I start building into this Terra. You would always have to like take the panel off here and access the power supply. Which, you know, it could get annoying, but I mean, you're not going to be troubleshooting that much, right? Hopefully not, you know. And then, yeah, here's the Fractal. What's the name of this case? Uh, Sebastian would know. He loves this case. Forget the name of this. It's a Fractal. Can you look it up? Try to look it up. Try to find it. The Fractal. Oh, we have the box out there. Yeah, that's called. But this one's cool. So I just want to talk a little bit about these cases before I get started, because I don't want you guys. The Ridge, yes, the Ridge. It's the Ridge. So the Ridge comes with 2 pre-installed 140 millimeter fans. Very small form factor as well, but you can fit like 3 of these fans here. These would probably be like 100 millimeter fans, and then you can fit 3 more 100 millimeter fans on the side here, not on this side, just the side. So you could fit 8 fans. 8 fans in such a small form factor. That's insane. And you can have it standing up, right? So this one's very versatile. If you have like a small desk space and you really want to make you know use of all your real estate, right, on your desk space there. You didn't want to waste any space. You want to have kind of a clear desk. Maybe you could have this one mounted on the bottom, or if you have like a shelf, slide it in or something like that. Or maybe squeeze it in like this, you know? You could just have it like that, right? Or on the side and throw your monitor on top of it. So then you have make, you know, use of the space on your desk as best as you could. If you didn't have any shelves or like that, just throw your monitor on top of it. You're gonna save a lot of space with a case like this. Really good case, good airflow. All of these cases have good airflows for how small they are. You're not gonna be missing out on any airflow. And then here is the winner, the Fractal Terra 3. Really good, very aesthetic case. So this case is gonna fit the least amount of stuff in it. It actually only takes 1 fan. So 1 fan is all you're gonna get on this case. 1 fan for intake. Power supply kind of breathes through the side here. So your power supply and your CPU cooler will breathe through the side on this side. And then on this side, your GPU will be breathing. So you kind of get intake from those things into the case. And then the power supply will exhaust through the top. And the GPU and CPU will kind of be like intaking and like, you know, pushing against each other, kind of pushing it through the top too. So, and then hot air rises naturally. So you'll get that power supply helping out, and then naturally with the GPU and CPU bashing their airflow, I guess, against each other, that'll help it kind of rise too. And then that 1 fan right under the power supply will kind of push everything up and out of the case as well. You're not gonna get like the best airflow, right, compared to like an Air Mini, right, with all those fans in it and all that mesh and stuff. But I don't think you need it anyways, right? It's very open. You see the grills on this case here, very open on the top panel here. Very open, so it's almost like you don't have any panels on it anyway. So overheating, I wouldn't be worried at all. You know, we're putting a 58X 3D in there with a 4070 Super. These parts, you know, they don't get as hot. Like the 58X 3D wouldn't even get that hot. If you would put 7000 series or an Intel 12th gen, 13th gen, 14th gen CPU in here, those get really hot, right? But I think with the how open the case is, you wouldn't even have to worry about overheating. And there is a configuration you can do in this case that you can have a 120 AIO in here, so a 120 millimeter AIO. That will very much help any CPU that you put in there, right? Instead of just a regular stock like air cooler. There's some of those like really quiet Noctua coolers as well that you could put in there, like the ones that lay flat. It's kind of like a tower cooler, but it lays flat. It's almost the same size as like an ITX motherboard. It's perfect cooling. You get one of those, or I would probably do the 120 and then get like a very slim GPU that has 3 fans. Today we're doing a 2-fan GPU, but if you do like a one that has 3 fans, you really fill up the real estate in there. And 120 AIO, I mean, it's not a 240, it's not a 360, it's not going to cool as well, right? But to get water cooling in such a tiny case, that's absolutely insane. And the most thing about this case is the aesthetics. So I think the cooling is there with how open all the panels are and being able to have an AIO, but the aesthetics is what this is all about, right? They have this in so they have it in this green like forest color with the wood, right? And then they also have like other colors with the wood. They have a silver one, right? You want to look up which exact colors they have? They have a couple different colors. I think 3 colors with this case here. So this one's all about aesthetics, right? And being such a really tiny form factor, and they're still able to give you a USB 3.0 and a 3.1, or USB-C and then the regular USB.
They have
insane.
They have this color, white and black.
So white and black, and they all have the wood.
Yeah. They all.
Yeah. So they all have the wood, white and black, and then the green. I mean, the green goes perfect with the wood. It looks like very foresty. You get like a outdoorsy kind of vibe with this. And then like it has a pull tab here to get that top panel off. Has some leather on it. So this is more of an aesthetic vibe. You have a really nice desk, very minimalistic look. If you're looking for that minimalistic look, you can always go with this. And you can still jam pack so much in here, right? I know in some places around the world, there's a lot of worry about desk space, living space just in general, right? And then you just still want to have like a PC setup. Something like this will very much fill that niche, like I know like places like in China, they have like, some people are living in very tight places, so they still want to set up, and something like this will very much fulfill that need for them. So and it still looks good, so it fills that niche for people. I love small form factor builds. I have the Air Mini. It's very big compared to this, right? But it's still very tiny compared to like the other cases on the market. And I love this case. So now that the vote is over, I'll say that this was my favorite one. I wanted y'all to choose this one, so I'm glad that y'all chose this one here. Yeah, I mean the Terra. I'm glad it piqued your interest. It's a really good case. I mean, it has the potential. It has the potential there, right? It has the potential for making a good build, right? Something you can jam pack with a lot of heavy high-end parts and still have like a really good look in such a tiny little thing that you can still have a lot more space on your desk. I see we should do a poll on our GPU and CPU. We'll do that on the next one. We'll try to do that on the next one. That'll be a cool poll to do. We'll do that on the next one. So next Friday we'll probably do that. We'll consider that. I'd be down for that, and then I'll try to get the whole team to be in on that. That'll be really cool. As long as we don't do like a i3 with a 4090 get a super bottleneck, that would be funny. So it has to be within reason. So let's get started on this case here. I just want to probably take off the panel. So start off with taking off the panels here. So I'll kind of demonstrate that. So again, with this top panel here, it's just a slide on and off. They have like a pull tab here. That's a leather pull tab. Just pull, pop comes right off. Again, with these, they're like hinges. You hinge them up, And then they have like these little tabs here you push, and this little uh, this little peg here just comes in and out, spring loaded peg there. Same thing with this side. You just take that off, and you have access to this almost like a benchmarking little shell, right? And I was saying earlier, you still get a USB 3.0 and a 3.1, so USB-C, regular USB, and then power button in the front there. So you know, it's not like usually in on regular builds you get 2 or maybe even 3 USB 3.0s, and then you get that USB-C. But you know, you still have uh, two there in the front. That's not bad. And then your motherboard will have however many, 6 of them, right? So you'll have plenty of USB ability here. It does come with a pre-installed riser cable. So this riser cable it wraps around, kind of reaches to where the motherboard is, and then the graphics card will live here. There is like a little thing on the top here where you can shift the whole inside body here, depending on how big your GPU is. You can shift it to be either smaller or wider or smaller. I have it on the widest option right now. I was messing around with it when we first got this case. I try to fit like a really thick card in there. You could fit a 4090 in here. It just has to be some 4090s, like the Founders Edition 4090, or the like the I think the MSI, like the slim one. You could fit some 4090s in here. So not all 4090s will fit in here. Same thing with the 4080 and maybe the 4070 Ti. It just has to be a certain one. You know, you can check the dimensions, look up the dimensions of the GPU online, and then look up the dimensions of how far and wide this case can go. I have it on the widest right now, so it's number 7. It has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can change the little screws here on the top, and then it has some screw on the bottom, and you can just unscrew those, shift it around, screw it back, and that will fulfill whatever you need for the how wide it would be to try to fit a really thick graphics card in there. I'm gonna try to take this out. This is just a screw box. It looks like you could fit another fan here, but you can't. I guess they just put they machined the screw holes there, but you can't fit another fan in there. There's only going to be one right on the bottom of the power supply here, and then that's about it. You could probably like get a super slim, very slim, because sometimes they make those really slim fans, right? It'll still be a 120, or you could get 100, and they'll still be very slim, right? So it'll be same millimeter fan, but they'll be super slim, so they're very, very thin, and you could maybe try to fit that on top to try to get some exhaust going on the case here. You probably get it to fit on this side. It would definitely not fit on this side here. But really awesome case. We'll talk about it more when we get to it. Let's start off with the motherboard. So we got I think this is the first ITX motherboard here. We have a Gigabyte Aorus X570i Pro Wi-Fi. So there's gonna be a Wi-Fi version here. So you get everything you need here, right? You get the Wi-Fi, you get the Ethernet. You know, you could put NVMe on this. So you're gonna get everything you basically get in a regular. You're not compromising here. You know, there is not much compromise here when it comes to this choosing a case like this. You get the antenna, which you know you access that to the back, so you can put the antenna like right on top. That'll be funny. It'll have like a little fin there. Maybe I'll do that at the end. It'll be funny to show that off. And they give you some extra stuff here, RGB stuff, and I think a sticker, CD, and a little thermal pad, extra thermal pad there. So the usual with the motherboard stuff here. And I mean, look, it's a X570. You get the best chipset for 5000 series. In such a small form factor. So you're really not compromising on this at all. Now this was, I think, an earlier X570. That's why they have the fan for the VRM, or not the for the chipset there. Which, I mean, look, it's still very good. I think I prefer the fan on my X570 at home. I do have the fan for my chipset. You see the newer X570s that you just have a heatsink. I dig the fan, and it's not loud, even though it's a little tiny one. NVMe is going to be on the back here. That's just so cool, so awesome. Obviously, there's no space for it on the front, so that engineering there is pretty nice to see. You get the CPU fan header there. You do get a fan header here, but it's being used by the chipset fan there, the little tiny one, and then you get another fan header there. So we're gonna use that fan header for our one fan, and we have like a fractal fan here. So, and this fractal fan is actually pretty thin, but if you see, you could get like actually like a half size of this. Like you get a really, really thin, very slim fan to try to fit it on top of there. I wish I had one to at least try that out with this case. Nonetheless, I mean, we'll still get that one regular sized one on the bottom here. USB 3.0, SATA. So it's the same stuff on this motherboard here. Just wanted to show it off a little bit because it is our first ITX motherboard that we are having on stream here. It's pretty funny how small. It's actually really awesome. It's crazy how small you can get these parts to be. So we'll do. Let's start off with the CPU here. So AMD Ryzen 7 5800X3D. This is the CPU I use at home. Very good CPU for gaming. This was actually the first X3D CPU that AMD did, right? So I think they were saying something like with how many cores the 58X3D has, with the 5800X has, it was the only one that was very stable at the time when they were manufacturing these, to be very stable with the 3D cache that they put onto the CPU die. And so it was the only one that was X3D at the time. And then they came out with the 7000 series. 7000 series, they did the 7800X3D, they did the 7900X3D, and the 7950X3D. And I guess by the time with 7000 series, it's a different engineering there, right? So the pins are not on the CPU anymore, they're on the motherboard, and I think it just helped them out to make a more X3D CPUs, right, with the architecture of the CPU itself, and to make them stable with the X3D. But then they went back to 5000 series, and they did the 5600X3D, right? So I think they figured out how to make their other 5000 series CPUs stable with the X3D, with the 3D cache on the die. So just to explain that really quickly, they have the X3D, right, or the 3D really, because they have the 58 and the 58X and the 58X3D, right? The X, I think, is just overclocked. It's more clockable. And then the 3D is they put a like cache, like a RAM. They put memory onto the CPU die itself. Uh, and 3D, right? So it's on the Z axis. The XY axis is where, like, the regular die is existing, and then the 3D cache is on the Z axis essentially. So that allows for the memory to have its own cache instantly, in a way, not relying as much as another CPU on the RAM, right? So it has that instant cache to access to help out with the gaming. So this one was competing. The 58X 3D was competing with the 12900. So it was competing with an i9, right? In some areas on certain benchmarks, right? Obviously, the i9 was better than it in a lot of the games and benchmarks, but the 58X 3D was beating even an i9 out at the time, So you could even imagine how a 78X or a 79 or 7950X 3D, right, would go against the 9.9, even 13s or 14 gen, let alone the 12, right? So very good CPUs. And then again, they went back to the 5000 series CPUs with the 5600 XTD. So I guess by the time they came out with 7000 and they did have more time for testing, they went back. This is the really cool part about AMD, is like they're going back to their older generation stuff and upgrading it, right? And coming out with new ones, right? You'd never think that they would go back to 5000 after coming out with 7000, right? But they did. And they figured out how to make the 56X stable with the 3D, right? So at the time when they came out with the 58X 3D, like I said, that was the only one that they can get stable with the 3D. And then they did it with the 56X 3D, but that one was very limited. It was out for a limited time. I don't know, maybe you could still find it out there. Hopefully there's not, scalpers shooting up the price on that. Man, the price on it was very good at the time too. I remember checking. I forget what the MSRP was, but I remember at the time it made sense. I was like, wow, like that would be good for somebody that had like a 3000 series CPU or even just a 56, right? They could have just got out the 56X3D, extended the lifetime of their build, right? That would have been a really nice little upgrade to do. But they had it very limited time and only sold at Micro Center. So if you didn't have a Micro Center around you, you're basically, out of luck on that. And I think they did the same thing when they came out with the 5700 X3D. So just recently, they came out with the 5700 X3D. So again, they figured out how to put that 3D technology on the 56 and the 57Xs, right? So you get 56X3D, 57X3D, and 58X3D. There is like a prototype out there. I think maybe a couple of them. Before they came out with the 58X3D, there were some prototypes of the 59X3D. So the 5900X3D, but they didn't ever come out. I think there's just some prototypes out there. It didn't ever release. And you never know. Maybe when they figure out how to make that stable, they'll come out with a 59X3D. And that's just the really cool thing about AMD there, that they're willing to go back to their older processors and update them and come out with some new stuff. Obviously, Intel's really good, right? I think Intel even has some cache on their CPUs, but it's nothing like the way AMD does it, and it really does help with the gaming. If you check out some benchmarks out there, it really helps with the gaming. If you guys are down, you can throw in the chat if you do want me to do some benchmarks with this 58X3D, and we'll compare them to maybe like some of our other CPUs that we have here, like we can compare them to, if you want, to our best builds, right? Our highest end builds. So let us know in the chat if you want me to do that after I have it built. I could do that on the side and update you guys on the next stream, or post it on our socials and update you on the next stream as well. Why not? Nonetheless, 58X3D, really good CPU. I know I went off on a whole explanation on these CPUs. I just thought they're really cool to mention. I don't think we ever used an X3D on stream yet, so I love the CPU. I got it as soon as it came out. I think like a month after it came out, I got it, right? So they were kind of hard to find. They were a little bit pricey. I got a really good deal at Micro Center for that one. But awesome, awesome, awesome uh, CPU there. And I love it. I have a 4070 Ti too, so really good setup there, no bottleneck. Um, and then this is a DDR4 board, right? 5000 series only is compatible with DDR4, so we're going with some non-RGB Fury, Kingston Fury Beast RAM, right? So keeping it simple there. What is this? I think just 16 gigabytes, two 8 gigabyte sticks, right? 16 gigabytes. In a build like this, you would want to maximize as much RAM because you only get those 2 slots, right? And it's such a tiny build, so it would probably make sense to get like maybe 32 or even 64. So two 32 sticks. You don't want to mess around with the how stable your system will be, though. You don't want to go to like 128. I think the 58X3D only supports up to 64. I mean, obviously you could do 128. It's just not gonna be as stable. I think it only supports up to 64, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe even 32. Uh, that goes for a lot of CPUs, right? But people go overboard anyways. Even with the like 14 gen Intel CPUs, they only support up to a certain amount of megahertz and capacity. So, but nonetheless, two 8 sticks, 16 gigabyte, right? More reliable, more stable. Don't want to go overboard. 50X3D, and then we're gonna do a 500 gigabyte. Again, on such a small build, you only get 1 slot, right? You could get an SSD in here. You could get like an SSD, like a SATA SSD in this build here. Um, you could mount that on there. So, you're not only stuck on just using whatever the motherboard has on itself. You could still get SATA drives to work with this case here. But you do want to kind of maximize what you can do with just the motherboard, especially nowadays with the NVMe's being so so much faster, right, than SATA. You uh, don't want to cheap out or get a very small storage capacity. So 500, it's not bad. It's kind of like an Xbox or a PlayStation. Or I think those now come with 1 terabyte standard, right? Yeah, they do. 1 terabyte standard now. Back in the day with the PS4, I guess, with the 500 gigabyte standard. Um, but we're going 500. If I was using this, I wanted to get it. I would probably put 2 terabyte. I'll probably put a 2 terabyte NVMe. Use it as my boot drive, use it as my gaming drive. That would be enough, I think, there for me. Um, so yeah, this would definitely not be like a workstation type of thing. Uh, you're not gonna have too much storage on a build like this. This is more like a desktop, right? Gaming. You can do some powerful gaming on here, right? But you're not gonna do like you're not gonna do crazy, editing and productivity like you would with like a workstation or one of our like 14900 builds, right? This is gonna be like more just desktop, doing your work on it, um, gaming, light gaming, but you could go a little bit crazy with this if you wanted to, right? Like you could run Warzone easily. You could run Call of Duty Warzone easily with a 58X3D and a 4070 Super. Yeah, you're gonna have a great time. You're gonna have good FPS there, no problem. Um, yeah, nothing to worry about here. But as you can see, slim fits, boom, right there on the back. Easy peasy. We'll get the cooler on there. Little AMD Wraith cooler. very slim, sleek little setup here. Nothing crazy. So this comes with the CPU. Actually, doesn't come with 58X3D. At least the one I got, it didn't come with one. So
I think the only ones they give out
with the 56, right?
yeah.
And the 55 and
No, I think they stopped
3000.
giving. I think after the 3000 series,
Oh, they stopped
they
giving them.
stopped giving out CPU.
Oh.
They actually started giving out the RGB one.
The RGB one, the
Yeah,
stealth,
on
the
some of
wraith,
them.
stealth wraith. That one, yeah. Only on some of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only on some of them,
Oh,
not all.
I forget which exact ones. But you could pick this up from like, you could probably pick it up from Micro Center.
Yeah, they all
Somewhere.
sound
Yeah. Pick it up on eBay or something too, or
Yeah,
Amazon.
yeah.
Yeah. This is very cheap too. It's not expensive at all. But hey, it works great, right? So you're gonna have your heat sink there and your fan blowing onto your CPU there, and again, look at this case. Like, it's not like you don't even have panels on it. It's very, very breathable. You don't have to worry about thermals on this. The airflow will be pretty good on a case like this for the small form factor that it is. Let's get this down here. And they do make those like nocturnal ones. Have you seen those ones?
not the slim.
Super slim. Like the fan like lays on top, kind of like this. It lays on top like that, and it has a heat sink under. And it's like, yeah, it's smaller than the motherboard itself, but almost like cools down your whole motherboard. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, I love that. I love that cooler. Wish we had it. Get this in here. Okay. I always suck at screwing these in. Really gotta get in there. Cool. Okay. So once we got those two on, then it's very easy. I just want to get them all kind of tightened up before I finish them. There we go. Cool. Okay. Do the whole diagonal thing, and then you can feel when it stops too. It kind of has its own like built-in torque thing there. That's why you kind of hear the spring, and it'll stop. It won't let you go anymore after you reach that wall there. So, boom. Very simple. I mean, look, this is your whole computer basically right here in this little tiny thing. You get what, 2, 4, 5 USBs. You get 2 HDMI's, DisplayPort. So X3D doesn't have any built-in integrated graphics, so you wouldn't be using these anyways. I guess you can use them for other things like pass-through and stuff like that. USB-C. So you got USB-C in front, USB-C here, USB 3.0. Well, that's a 3.1 there too. Just not Type-C. And Ethernet, Wi-Fi, audio. Really awesome for such a tiny little build here. And then with this wire, you just go into the CPU power, fan power header there. Kind of tuck this on the side here. A little tuck. I like to tuck both of them just to make it look a little bit cleaner. Boom. Huh. I'll tuck one. All right. And there we go. There you have it. A little tiny little simple build there. We'll throw on that. We'll just, that's looks so funny. It's gonna look like a little shark thing. We'll put that on after. And let's get it into the case now. So let me just prep some screws. So they give you some screws, like just like every case, right? So you get some screws. You get like your little SSD little mount. So you could fit a SSD in here, right? Like, that's awesome. So you're not, again, like I said earlier, you're not just stuck on whatever you have on your little tiny ATX motherboard there, I would probably do the 2 TB there, and why not do a 1 TB, or you could go 4 TB, right? You could have a lot of storage in here.
I do believe we do put a video hard drive. You lose out on that one fan you're about to put.
Oh, on here.
Yeah.
Is that where it goes?
That's what I'm saying on the website.
Uh-huh. Goes on the bottom here.
So yeah, so you're gonna put a 120 millimeter fan for rate or AIO.
Uh-huh, yeah, it does go here.
But you can't put any
Yeah.
or hard drive.
So you do mount it there. So you miss out on the cooling if you do put this. If you're a savage, you could put the fan there and just have the SSD living like on top of the
Yeah.
you know, you have enough space there. Yeah, don't even zip tie it. Just kind of just be careful when you place it down on your desk.
Double-sided tape.
Yeah, or double-sided tape. You could literally just have it kind of like free floating right there too, and just be careful when you're moving it around. But nonetheless, I mean, that's like pushing the limits of this case, you know. But yeah, you could zip tie it, double-sided tape, something easy like that if you really wanted that one fan there. And with such a small build, you would want the fan, right? You would really want that fan there. Like that's kind of like out of the question of taking that fan out. You really want that fan there, so I would go with that option.
And NVMe might be almost the exact
Same price, so might as well just go with like a 2 TB.
Yeah.
You could get a 4 TB NVMe, right? And just go all out. They do give you these are just little spacers, so you can put these spacers back on to center this little thing that moves the whole body inside. This is just to center it. If you wanted to center that body part there, the inside there, we're not going to center it. Screws. So the screws are already loose. I opened this case before, so. Zip ties, a little microfiber cloth, and Velcro straps here. Probably use them. I'll probably use them. It's kind of the cable manages itself, so you don't really need to do much cable management on this. So let's get in here. Let's do undo this here. So with these small builds, you kind of have to like, what am I gonna do here? You know, you kind of have to map it out on every build. You kind of have to do that, but with this one, you really wanna, like you seen with the Mini, when I had to take off the that top fan so many times, right? I had to take it off to put the little fan, that like Lee proprietary like fan power cable there, and then I had to take it off again to plug in the 8 pins on the motherboard. And so that one's way bigger than this case, right? But it was still very small form factor where you have to be careful about that too. Same goes for this one here. It's even smaller, so you really have to be careful with this guy here. You know, go step by step. Really, you have an order of operations here. So it's gonna kind of be upside down when you slot it in. So it's gonna be upside down in a way, right? Because right side up is that way and down is this way, but you know, it's not the conventional way of building. I think they did that because you get the riser cable here, you got to plug that in, so they kind of had to make it upside down. Still no problem, it's cool. Everything is kind of mapped out for you. They designed it for you in a way so it makes it easy on you to do so. Probably you could try to check which motherboard fits best with what you want to do with it, right? So you can find like the headers on the motherboard are in different places depending on what manufacturer you choose. So you can do that little homework before purchasing everything, if you were going to build this. And it's just 4 screws. Really easy. Each corner. This one's probably the hardest one because it's under that power header there. But boom. That was actually really easy. Oh. And another one here. And another one there. And it's pretty much done. Now, on the back side here, it is still open. So if you wanted to do some troubleshooting, you want to swap your SSD out, you can just swap it out. You know, take your graphics card out, take the riser cable off, switch your SSD, whatever you need to do with it. Boom, plug everything back in. So very easy to still access your components here and do some troubleshooting, all that good stuff. All the stuff you need to do. And then let's get this riser cable in. Boom, just like that. They had a little like protective little thing on there. I just took it off, plug them in. It's locked in, it's secure now. It has like its own little cable management thing here. You can just stuff it in. Oh, I have that in there. Let me just get that in. Boom. Yeah, in there. Very slim. Very easy to take care of. They kind of cable manage it for you in a way, you know, already. So it's really neat that they did that. This is going to be the power button. Which was there. Oh no, that is USB. Right here. And they have it color coded on this motherboard. Cool. This you could probably just zip tie like right there. Right. That's probably what I'm gonna do.
On just small zip ties?
No, I have some here. I have some in there. Yeah, thank you. And I have some Velcro. And then we got USB 3.0. I don't think this motherboard has no, this motherboard does not have a USB-C header here, so it doesn't have a USB 3.1 Type-C header. Uh-oh. All right, if you did have that, you'll just plug that in. So since we don't have that, we'll just kind of zip tie that to itself there. And channel this down. Channel that down. Let me zip tie this off on it by itself. Just so I have some stuff to work with here. Where you all at in the chat? How you guys doing today? What am I gonna do with this? Like that. I don't want it to interfere with the fan. Probably let's get that fan in there, actually. I guess you could put a fan on the outside. You could put a... No, the feet. It wouldn't stand. Or would it? It still would, actually. No. That would be interesting. If you had maybe a slimmer one. They do have the cutout for it, though. That's the interesting part. Could go around. Yeah, let's do that. Fan in here. Intake. Boom. So just help me out with my cable management. I don't want to ruin the fan. Oh, day off. Nice. Hitting up the gym or what? I know. I remember last time you said you do go to the gym, or maybe that was someone else. Was I maybe mixing you up, Zach? Hope I wasn't. Hope I was not. But hey, on a day off, probably take a day off of everything, gym, work, everything. No, I love going to the gym. So on a day off, I gotta work out. All right, so just wanted to get the fan in there before I start managing, just to give myself the correct places to work with everything. Don't want to disrupt the fan in a way. How are we gonna do that? Just like that. Stuff this 3.0 kind of bothering me. I don't know what to do with it. Maybe up here. We'll see when we get the power supply in there too. Maybe we can really decide. Now we'll tie these together. 9 a.m. Oh, early gym session. That's the way to do it. Get it out of the way for the day. Kind of boosts you up, pumps you up for the day, you know. It's a nice little thing to do early in the morning. I do it after work. I'm that type. I don't know if you ever seen that meme where it's like people that work out at 4 a.m. before work, and then and it's like this happy guy, and then it's like people that work out after work, and it's like this like sad guy. He's like, I gotta work out after work. Such a funny meme. But yeah, hey, getting in early, 9 a.m. So okay, so really tight space here. So this is the smallest PC that we ever built here on stream. So gotta manage everything so precisely. Oh, I unplugged it. Okay. I'm gonna leave that one. We'll get some other components in there, and then I'll see what I can do. Let's get the this little. You know what? Could have done it. Could twist it around just to. Yeah, let's do that. Let's twist it around. You gotta follow the order of operations. You gotta be very careful when building these. You don't want to mess up and then have to do what I'm doing now with unbuilding it in a way, just to make everything so sleek and slim and correct. I'll have to get this out once you got it in there too. So we'll do it like this. Just turned it a couple degrees there. Just boom. Get this cable to plug into the power header on the motherboard that's on the bottom part, which is actually the top because it's upside down right now. Oh, nice. That is the life. Just boom, get up, right out of bed to work. You don't gotta drive, you don't gotta do anything. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, you could probably just work out on your like lunch break. You're at home anyway. Get some equipment in your place. Get some dumbbells, some kettlebells. Get one of those door pull-up things. Get a jump rope. Do some sit-ups, like put your feet under the couch or something. Oh, man, that'll be sick. Okay, so let me show on the camera here. We got the fan power header right here. That's why I moved the fan a little bit, right? So the wire was coming out this way. I just moved it so it comes out this way. And then I kind of just zip tie it to itself there, kind of like that, you know. And then it'll kind of be like this riser cable, just kind of chilling out on the backside there. You could even zip tie it to the little wall. I'll probably do that. So, did I just cut my zip tie? Wow. All right. More zippies. Zippies. Yo, what's up, Kurozuto. Am I saying that right? Kurozuto. What is up? Welcome. Hope you're enjoying, hope you stay with us and enjoy this build here. So we're doing, this case is called the Fractal Terra, right? So it's from the Fractal brand, company, manufacturer, and it's their Terra model. Really awesome case, very tiny. We had a poll early in the stream. If you were here earlier, you could have been a part of that poll. Nonetheless, you're here now. Enjoy the build. We're doing the Fractal Terra, really awesome case. Has some wood, green color, very tiny, small form factor build today that we're doing on stream. We wanted to switch it up, kind of, you know. So that's what we're doing today. Let me get this out. Boom. Okay. What can we do with this? What are we gonna do with this? Huh. We'll put it on top. We'll do it on top. Like that somehow. Boom, like that. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, so I think that's gonna be the way to do it. Right, kind of just trying to map it out in my head right now, talking to myself. Next we'll go with power supply. We got this boom. I got this Corsair SF850L. So it's their SFL series power supply. Is gonna be their small form factor ITX power supplies here. It's an ATX 3.0. So this will have the new little 12+4 16-pin power connector that will work with the 4000 series GPUs. Very awesome, very awesome. Got a bunch of cables here. Comes with a little mounting little bracket if you wanted to use it in a bigger case, right? And maybe that case doesn't come with a bracket. You could pop that in there easily. Some zip ties, screws. Get those screws out. You can only need 4 of them anyways. Go to the side there. Very small form factor. Little tiny little guy. Oh, funny little. Oh, that's hilarious. And it comes with all the stuff you need, right? So you got your SATA. You're using SATA power, right, for your SSD. If you're gonna throw that in there, we're not gonna do that. So you got your regular 8-pin PCIe. You got your 24-pin there. I would not be using any of the PCIe or the SATA today. You got a Molex with that too, power cable. So we'll throw those back in the box there. we're gonna go with the 12 plus 4, 16 pin. We got the 24 pin, and we got CPU power. So only 3 cables. With a case like this, you do want to be using a modular power supply, right? Something like this, where you can choose the cables that you want, put the other cables away. Don't throw them away, obviously. You know, you might want to put this in a different build one day and you need those cables. Or if you want to do an upgrade, you get the SATA cable out of here. SATA power, you know, put your power SATA power for your hard drive or SSD or whatever you're doing there. So yeah, keep those cables on the side. But you do want modular because you're very limited on space with this, so you do need a modular power supply. There's no way around that. I mean, you could just get the regular, right, and just kind of stuff it around wherever little nooks and crannies that you can find there, but it wouldn't be ideal. You know, it would kind of obstruct airflow a little bit. You know, all those wires in the way. You want a clear path for the fan, the one fan that you do have, right? So I would advise going with, you know, one of these modular ones. I don't even think, do they make SFX that are non-modular? I haven't seen myself. Actually, we did have, no, we had one that was semi-modular before, but nothing, nothing that was completely non-modular. So with this power supply, we do have a challenge here. You might have to go up. Well, this will go that way, right? And then this will go around on top. Okay. Again, just try to map everything out of my brain. Trying to get everything out of my brain. And then let's look at. Okay. Got those 3 in. We'll screw it in. Yeah, we'll screw it in. Actually, we'll plug everything in and then screw it in. I think that'll be the smart way to go about it. Plug everything in, screw it in. Probably just gives me a little bit of room to work with here. This. Boom. You know what? Let's get this. Get the GPU in there too. So we got the Zotac 4070 Super. Cool little card. Just a two fan. Still gonna fit up a lot of real estate in there, right? If you had the 3 fan, you would still be able to fill that space in there, right? So if you get a 3 fan, just be careful, right? As I was saying earlier in the stream, you want to find a card that would fit the length and the width, right? So there are some 4890s, like the Founders Edition would fit, but everything else kind of would be harder. You could probably get that MSI Slim card to fit in here too. But again, probably going to be hard. These are thumb screws. Just wanted to kind of loosen them up with the screwdriver. Oh. And another one. We'll get this in just so I can plug in the power cable to it. Boom. Looking good. And then we'll get the power supply in there. So again, with a small form factor build like this, it's gonna kind of be hard to get everything in by itself, and then, you know, cable manage. It's kind of like a working all together. You know, you gotta kind of do this to do that, and so sometimes you gotta do 2 steps at a time in a way, you know. This is a kind of hard piece to get in too. kind of obstructed by the case itself to get in there. Uh-oh. You always run into a challenge when PC building, right? Not always going to be as easy as you think it's going to be. So we'll get in there. Get in there how we could. Just try to make it work. Okay. Huh. How are we going to do this? Get this. Maybe. Just maybe. Actually worked. That actually worked. So this little spacer here to make the thing wider. I actually just stuck my NVMe driver down through there and just kind of angled it. Boom, got to it. Great, awesome. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. I think I'm gonna do the same thing. Be resourceful, but be careful too. Well, I can't do it with that. This side, we'll just kind of thumb it. Maybe. Perfect. It's all coming together. Cool beans, so we got that in. Oh, that was a little bit of struggle. Probably the hardest part so far about building this. Wow. Okay. And since it's such a slim card, I'm thinking of just shifting the whole thing here, actually. We could do that actually after I get the power supply in. Shift it a little bit. Give a little bit more space for this cooler to fit in there. It's kind of passing the border there, so. All right. So, move that. Or, yeah, like this. So I'm gonna unplug this. I can plug the 3.0 just for now. Kind of bend all of these. So I could get it to fit. I'm really gonna get it in there somehow, huh? Oh no, this actually won't. Might need to take this fan out. Might need to take that fan out. Let's. Might. Fan is kind of in the way. I know Corsair makes power supplies with the power cables plugging in on the side instead. That would be way more ideal with a case like this. You can just have it come off the side so you don't have to worry about the clearance on the bottom. So right now I don't have that much clearance to get this in there. Disappointing. That stings for sure. I want to really get that fan in there. Trying to think what I can do. Maybe if we shifted it forward. Shift it forward a bit. Four screws. Kind of loosen them up, don't take them off. And then just push the whole thing. I don't know if you guys can see that. So there's two screws here on the top, two on the bottom, and you see that, you see the numbers here, 1 2 3 4 6 7. You can shift the whole thing either side. I had it all the way on 7 just to give me that clearance that I needed for the thicker card that I was testing on this case when I was checking out this case when we first got it. But I think I'm gonna put it on 4. 4 seems good. I think I'm gonna go through the back. We have some space here. I might go through the back with the power supply. Try to get the wires to let me work here. Let's see if it works. We'll go to 4. We could even go to 3 with this. 3 or even 2, right? Let's see how it is with the panel on. Oh, what's this panel? What's that panel? Just to check my clearance here. Also, this turned out to be a very challenging build. Extremely challenging, actually. I mean, with this card, we could even go to number 1. Give me enough space there to really play around. Yeah, we'll go to 1. We'll do 1. I'll tighten these 2, and I'll tighten the 2 on the bottom once I get this power supply dealt with. So we'll take this off. I just wanted to check the clearance there. And now deal with this guy. Still not gonna get that clearance. How disappointing. How disappointing. I was gonna plug in there. Yep, we're gonna have to take that fan off. Gonna have that fan off. We have one more idea. So we'll take off this guy. Need a smaller, stronger. Do you have a small screwdriver?
That's probably all I have.
You don't have a. It's almost spinning with just not. Back here. Wow. Okay, I got it. Boom. Okay. So we'll get this mounted on the power supply. Probably give me just a little bit more clearance. And then we'll see if that helps. Wow, so this turned out to be a real challenge. So I don't think that the fan is no longer the the biggest challenge, right? It was at first, but now it's the power supply. It's in combination. To be fair, it's in combination with the fan itself. So, I mean, wow. Still needs a ton of clearance. You know. Yeah, that fan's gotta go. No way. So, with a build like this, you need to watch out. You really, really, really need to map out all the parts. So we're gonna take that fan out. I think the number one thing to watch out for is either try to get that slim, um, fan. I know there's slim fans out there. I think Fractal even makes some of those really slim ones. Or try to find a power supply that you can really try to slimmer than this. Maybe it's designed in a different way with the power cables not really being in the way. As you can see with this, that's a real struggle for me. Get that out of there. And it's to make it super easy just to get this power supply in now. Oh yeah, just boom. There you are. Get that plugged in. You know, this one was a doozy. Okay. All right. Oh, no, you can't do that. Can you? You gotta be kidding me. No, you can't. That would have been cool. Looks like there's another spot for a screw, but why would they have those holes machined there? Bizarre. Bizarre indeed. All right. And we have that other screw. Where's the other one? There we are. And just get this one in there. It's a little bit harder to do. Okay, cool. All right. And this one will come around over here, like so. Plug into the GPU. Bam. Now stuff this under. Could go around. If you did have that 3-slot GPU though, you wouldn't be able to have this space. So I'm just gonna act like that's the case here because I don't want to do too much different than that of being the case. Oh, I know. I think this is only rated 300. This 300 watt. So this cable here is 300 watt. Like on the XPG ones, they're 600 watt. Yeah. So on this Corsair one, this was 300 watt. Corsair came out with theirs very early, very early in the game. So don't blame Corsair on that one. They rushed them out, and I think maybe some of their new ones have. They do sell other ones on their website. They'd probably upgrade to the 600 watt and or on their newer power supplies will have the 600 watt. But nonetheless, 300 watt is enough, especially for just a 4070 Super. I'll zip tie that there. Show you guys what I'm doing here. Let me pull that through. I'll get this under everything instead of on top of it. I get real specific with the way I want my cable management. So we'll do that. We could probably stuff it under. Yeah, we got enough space. So that was real unfortunate. We couldn't get the fan down there. You're probably going to get the like super slim fan. You know, really thin cables on a power supply.
What power supply is this?
It's a Corsair SF850L.
Yeah, you're gonna need an SFX.
Like an even smaller,
It's a small.
tiny one, and like the cables have to be super thin.
Yeah, on the Fractal website, it's either SFXL or SFX power supply that fits in it. With the fan and the radiator.
If you want the fan,
The radiator.
you're gonna have to get a super tiny, really cute, really tiny little cute power supply. Yeah. Hey, look. Sometimes it's tough. We'll make it over the mountain.
The max length for the power supply is 130 millimeters.
130 mil. Wow.
So that would be like 5.1 inches. Super small.
Tiny. You're the size of my
Yeah.
hand. Wow, that's insane. Probably go around here like this. It's like what I'm seeing here. I know we had the EVGA one that was SFX. That one was really small, but it was semi-modular. The cables on it were a little thick. But again, this is not really for aesthetics.
Yeah, like you said, those the SFX power supplies have the cable, have the cables on the side that you were saying.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about obstructing your fan. But what I meant was this case is for aesthetics, but not when it comes to the cable management, right? On the inside, it's not really going to be RGB and stuff like that, and all that type of aesthetics. It's more of like the just slim, minimalist look. So it's it's a different type of aesthetic.
It would be cool too if you just get like a CPU with integrated graphics. Just you want like a desktop. Computer.
Yeah, just like a desktop. You don't want anything for really gaming purposes.
Get a motherboard, CPU with integrated graphics.
Yeah. I'm just moving all the cables out of the way so they're not obstructing the CPU fan and the power supply fan, right? And then, boom. So again, you're gonna get all this air coming through anyways with how open the case is. Not having any fans here, it's not really a big deal. I mean, just that one fan. I am disappointed that we couldn't get it in. You could get it in, right, if you did get the SFX and just all the correct components here. But I mean, on Fractal's website, they do say that you could still use this type of power supply or the even smaller one, right? You just have to compromise on the fan. So ideally, you want to get that really small one just to get that fan for just that little bit of cooling, that little bit of airflow, because it is such a small case and you don't have that much airflow to begin with, right? But in the end, without it all, I mean, one fan or not, it's open, right? So it's open. The room temperature wherever you have this is going to be doing most of the cooling. It's going to cool itself in a way. So you don't need much of the fans. Nonetheless, really cool. We didn't get the 3-fan GPU, right? We only have the 2-fan. You would have filled in that space there with 3 fans. I did move it all the way from 7 to 1, so this GPU will be right up on that wall there, and the CPU and power supply are breathing from the other wall. They have a lot more clearance, cables and stuff. Backside, got a lot of space here to wiggle around. This space will be open, so your CPU can breathe from there too. You get a lot of passive air coming in through there. Yeah, just a real simple, sleek build. Everything's jam-packed, right? Squeezed together, literally, like, just, there is no conventional style here, right? The GPU is on the back side, right, of the motherboard. That's insane. Like, just like the that Thermaltake giveaway one, the GPU is just free floating. It's not even right, but this one's on the back. It's a motherboard and GPU just back to back. That's just a whole other monster there. Let's get these panels back on. Just pop in one little peg and then spring the other one. Same thing with this guy. Just pop in that peg there. Put the spring on this one and pop it in. Boom. They close up. Open them up like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. Whichever one, I forget. Or they both do that. They both, yeah, butterfly doors. Tesla's now, yeah, too. Boom, this just slides on and off. So here's the bar. It's dense. It's not light. It's pretty heavy, right? It's pretty dense there. It's like, but you know, light enough to move around in your room and transport it, do whatever you got to do with it.
Like the aesthetic case.
Yeah, it's nice. Just to sit on your desktop there, you know, doesn't have RGB much. You can show off the insides. Real easy to access. Do troubleshooting, you know, boom. You know, do something, change RAM or whatever you need to do. Boom. Real easy to deal with there. I'll just show it off. Like that. Show off this side to y'all. Let me plug it in now and we'll turn it on. Water. Okay. Where is my power cable? Oh, yeah. No, that's yours. Oh, is that the one? You can take it out.
No, the small one.
Yeah, it won't reach. Could reach. Try it. Take it out. So enter that giveaway. We have the other giveaway, right? With was that popping up in the chat there? The other giveaway?
Oh yeah.
It was popping up. Enter that giveaway, y'all. We do have that giveaway with toasters. Oh, we're gonna reach. Oh no. Oh no. You got a longer one?
They have it over here.
Cool. Yeah, enter the giveaway with toasters. It's gonna be 011 Mini, the regular, not Air Mini, just the Mini. 7600 AMD processor with a 4070 Super. Really nice build. We did test that out with Fortnite and Call of Duty on highest settings, highest resolution. Really got a good build there. Enter that giveaway there. You could be a winner, just like Zach was. He won the thermal take build that we were doing on giveaway there. And now we have the new one with toasters. Really sick build. It's a collab with toasters. You can check out his TikTok as well there in the chat. Um, hopefully you win it, whoever you are, and just keep entering that. Be active on our socials. Obviously, you gotta join the stream. Check out the streams every Friday. But yeah, let me know if you guys want me to benchmark this, put it up to the highest levels it can go, how hot it is right? We'll report to y'all how hot the CPU gets, how hot the GPU gets, so you can really see what a small form factor build has with no fans, right? How much it can do, and how hot it can get, right? Or how cool it can get, right? I think it'll be 80s for both GPU and CPU, which isn't bad. We'll see though. We'll test it out. Let us know in the chat if y'all want us to do that and report those numbers to you. But without further ado, let's turn this on here. Throw the switch on. Boom, boom, switch is on. Boom. Comes to life. I guess the only RGB you're getting here is with the Zotac card, right? That's the only RGB you're getting here. You could get RGB RAM, right? You can get RGB power supply. You can get an RGB cooler, right? You can get the Wraith cooler, the RGB one, or you can get like some other little tiny form factor cooler for your CPU and get a little bit of color out of it if you want, right? But it really is just that little tiny small little form factor build that you know, doesn't rely on the RGB for its aesthetics, right? It relies on itself, the small form factor, the color, the wood, the you know, that minimalist aesthetic there. That's what it's really trying to stand out on. I mean, if you were gaming in a dark room, we could turn off the lights just to show how it looks like gaming in a dark room with this small little tiny build here. But yes, remember, stay active, enter that giveaway.
You won't be able to see it.
Yeah, you probably won't be able to see the build itself, huh? Well, we'll see. We'll see how it looks.
Yeah, you can't see it.
You can't? That's insane. Oh, hey, look, it just disappears. Not bothering you. You hear like a little bit of the coil whine or the fan on the CPU and the GPUs. Just there, really not making a fuss for you when you're gaming. That's how I do it. I have the Air Mini, but I don't have any RGB in it. I have like one little RGB strip, but my fans don't have RGB, any like that. I found when I was gaming, because my build is right on the like I have like an L-shaped desk, so it's like on the side of my desk, and I'm like gaming out, and I have all these like flashing colors, and it's kind of messing with me while I'm gaming, right? Especially if you're playing something like Counter-Strike or Valorant, you really need to focus, you know, your footsteps and all that stuff. Like you need to like see everything. It was messing with me, so I had built a new one without any RGB. You know, and the little RGB strip I do have, I put it on like yellow just so it like kind of shine on the inside. I can see if it's dusty or not, and stuff like that. But it kind of just disappears, you know. It does what it needs to do, and it's out of my mind while I'm gaming. This will kind of accomplish the same thing there, you know. It's like it's there while you're gaming, dark room, doing your thing, or if you're doing some work at night, you know, it's there. And in the daytime, it's a nice little tiny little piece. It's not taking too much space. You could put other stuff on your desk. You know, you could tuck it away in a shelf. If you have kind of a shelf attached to your desk on the bottom there, just tuck it away. It's like perfect little cute little build there. You know, the wood is real nice. I've seen like a lot of Reddit posts and, you know, like just around on the internet, a lot of these builds, people using this case. You know, they have like very minimalist desks. They put like a long desk mat. They have this thing there with the monitor. Very tiny, wireless, everything wireless, right? It looks very, very slick, very, very nice, very minimalist. But there is the build for y'all. Make sure to check us out every Friday around 2 p.m. Next Friday, we'll probably have something different. I know earlier when I was doing like that week-long streams before the build-a-thon, it might have been during the build-a-thon, we had somebody ask, hey, you can do anything without RGB? So I guess this is the one that was without RGB, right? And some other one asked for a workstation. We will be doing a workstation, kind of workstation gaming hybrid type of thing. We will be doing that on stream soon. We have a really cool Corsair case for that. New Threadripper motherboard, right? It's going to be an awesome build for y'all to check out. I think y'all will really like that build. We're going to have that one soon enough. Not this next week, the week after. But check us out every Friday, 2 p.m. And if you have any suggestions, just let us know. We'll probably do a build that you know you suggest, right? Earlier in the stream, who was it? They were asking, hey, you should do a poll on what GPU and CPU you guys should build with. We'll consider that. I'm totally up for that. I'll mention it to the team here and get everybody in agreement on that, and we'll probably do that for the next stream. If not, right, we'll do a really cool build for you guys if it isn't that workstation build, and then the week after that we'll for sure do that workstation build. So just stay up with us, stay active on the socials, enter that giveaway. Check out Toaster's Tech on TikTok. He did some content with our like this way.
Yes, this one turned off.
Okay. Yeah, check out his content. He did some content with the giveaway build, right? Yeah, check us out Friday, 2 p.m. Thank you all for checking in. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Catch you next week.